Hi guys, so this is my 9-month update video. I recorded this thing twice. The last one turned out to be like a 20-minute rant, and I don't want that to happen again. Um, but I want to have a clear, concise video, I guess, of what's going on, what's not, what's good, what's bad. Um, I guess let's start off with the obvious. I do look different. I always look different with every month that passes. HRT or hormone replacement therapy has been very good to me. Um, I'm not going to go into any TMI territory in this video. I have discussed in the past things that are a little more specific, but then again, I don't really want to divulge as much information as other trans girls tend to do. One thing you'll never see from me are naked pictures. I don't do those. I refuse to do those. I don't even do them for myself. If I want a naked picture, I just look in the mirror. But I finally got my microphone back, which I'm very happy about. I've been all my stuff used to be scattered between 3 different places: Vegas, which is always with me, Arizona, which is with some family, and in New Jersey, which is where my parents are. Most of my stuff is still in Jersey, of course, but I did successfully get everything from Arizona. That's now with me, so now I only have 2 places that everything is. But now having my microphone is really great because now you can actually hear my quality much better. I've been living with a few friends. This is my temporary room. It's far better living situation than I had previously. Previously, I lived on a couch, not in a couch. And, the environment wasn't the greatest. It was very depressing. There was a person who used to be my friend, but she turned out to be a complete bitch. She was just a tyrant, a spoiled little brat, and I'm glad that I'm out of that situation. Now I live with people who are much closer to my age, and they're a lot more mature, and they have been nothing but kind to me, which is great. Today is kind of a shit day for me because it is the 3rd anniversary of my grandfather's death, and I don't like that. I miss him to death. Hell, I would love nothing more than to see him again. And I'm pretty sure he would be kind of shocked at how different I look. The thing is, I never got around to telling him how I felt. I was very close to. I honestly was about to spill it to him about a month before he died. And I just never did, and I kind of regret that. But then again, he died thinking he had a grandson all this time, and in reality, he had a granddaughter this entire time. Let's see, changes. I just feel happier in my skin. I mean, I guess that's the ultimate goal, is just to feel much better with myself and to just feel normal, which I am getting there month by month. I mean, this month has been a pretty decent month. I I go exercising on the strip 3 times a week, and it's I think it's like a 10-mile round trip thing that I do, and I do it with a friend, and it's been great. I love exercising. I think I'm losing weight. I don't really stay on the scale because I kind of, it's kind of scary going on the scale. If you're a guy, you won't understand it, but for any of the girls that follow my videos or anything, you definitely know what I'm talking about. It's that dreaded number. If it goes up, you want to kill yourself. If it goes down, you're happy as can be, and then you end up cheating the following day because you lost weight, and then you're back to where you were. It's just a living nightmare. I have to say, men are pigs. Especially on the strip. Last night I was catcalled 12 times. I was hit on at least twice. And it just, I like it because it validates me as a woman, because why on earth would they do it to a person who looks like a man? But I'm not a big fan of that. I smile, I laugh it off, and me and my friends just joke around about it. But they target me, not my friends. Yeah. So yesterday, a guy goes to me as I'm walking. He's like not even like a few inches away from me, and he's like, "Looking fine, sunshine." And I was like, "That's so cheesy," but he said that, and I'm cracking up laughing afterwards. Another guy came up from behind me, and he goes, "I've been trying to buy a drink for a girl all night long. Can you finally help me?" And I'm just like, what the fuck? And all I want to do is just walk away from him. You're not going to pick up a girl like that. At least you can't pick me up like that. So yeah. Kind of sucks. There was a situation about 2 or 3 days ago. The last time I walked on the strip, there was a guy, like, they tend to hand out cards, like coupons, or like built like flyers for restaurants and stuff. And hell, as a woman, you get invited to a lot of nightclubs. I passed up the opportunity to get into a nightclub for free that included free alcohol. Yes, they basically give the women a wristband, and then they can actually drink for free. I was like, I should have done it, but I was so tired. Next time I'm definitely going to try it. Just, I've never been to a nightclub before. So I've been to a bar a few times, but not like this. So the situation was that a guy, usually they're not so, like, I would say rough about it. But normally when you walk past someone who is trying to give out those flyers and stuff, what they'll do is they'll just kind of approach you, but they're not going to stand in your way. They're not going to block you or anything. This guy did that. He blocked me, and I proceed to just walk around him and pretend he doesn't exist, and he flipped out at me. He kept saying that, don't be rude, don't do that to me, that's not nice, and like just saying, I'm trying to give you a nice place for a restaurant, and it was very fucked up. The worst part was on the way back. He happened to be on the other side of the strip, so it sucked. I was trying to avoid him by going on the other side of the strip on the way back, and he ends up being there. And this time he was just flipping. He just kept following me for a good 30 seconds and stuff, kept harassing me about it. And I just kept telling him no, and I was trying to be polite and respectful. But I also started feeling creeped out, scared, and vulnerable. So a guy, I never saw him, but he yelled at the guy to stop. He's like, leave her alone. And, you know, I'm glad he did it. I'm sure the guy wasn't going to harm me, but it was just the way he was going. He was very aggressive. And I didn't like that, because I know that I don't have the strength I used to have, and I wasn't a strong guy at all. But as a girl, I'm even weaker. HRT, it does reduce your muscle mass considerably. So whatever strength I really had, it's been reduced quite a bit. There's a lot of things I just can't lift. A lot of bins that I packed up prior to moving out west, I could lift them with a lot of effort, of course, back in September. Now I can't lift them at all. I try. I had to actually split them up amongst more bins. So that's the case of HRT. One thing, I have boobs. I mean, they're bigger. They've definitely grown. They're sore as fuck right now, and I don't like it. But yeah, it sucks when they're sore. Because I dropped my laptop. I usually put I'm holding my tablet, my Windows tablet, and it slipped out of my hand, and the corner of it nailed me right in the breast, and oh god, it hurt. That was painful. And I keep hitting them, man. I manage to hit them all the time. If it's something I'm carrying something, like I'm used to carrying stuff by like kind of resting it on my chest. Bad idea when your breasts are sore. Don't do that. I've learned that the hard way multiple times, and I still haven't learned my lesson because I keep doing it. But the problem with breasts is that they grow and stop, and then grow again, and then stop. Like they come in like phases, or I would say spurts, and they usually last like a few weeks, and then they stop. It just started again last week, and I'm just pissed. Yet that sucks. I've been getting a lot of migraines. What else? I'm overly sensitive. I'm going to admit that. I kind of am. Things definitely bother me more than they ever did before. I definitely take a lot of things more personal than I used to. But overall, I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to be Catherine. I'm happy to be the girl that I've always felt like I was. And now I'm living it's something I dreamed of my whole life is now becoming a reality. And sometimes I don't believe it. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I just can't believe that I've come this far. It's going to be a year up in April, end of April, like April 28th will be the 1 year mark of hormones. And this will still keep going on for many years to come. Transition takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's where a lot of the major changes happen. But I'm not expecting to be out of this change period thing, at least for another 4 years. But some people have said I've been lucky. Some people have said that the photos of me are amazing. And yeah, they can be. It all depends on the angle. Because I'll show you, like, for instance, I took pictures last night, and a specific picture that someone liked was this one of me. Now, I took this last night. Now, I don't look like that, but if I smiled and, had my face a certain angle and like really smiled, of course, it would pretty much look like me. I really wish, oh, there you go, it focused. So yeah, I tend to look like this. And this is what I looked like last night when I was getting catcalled. It's like some pictures come out amazing. It all depends on, again, lighting and angles. But yeah, I wish this thing would just fucking focus. Stupid camera. But yeah, I enjoy it. One person asked me if I got surgery. And I don't. I've never gotten surgery. And I'm not talking about surgery on the downstairs area. I'm talking about facial surgery. Someone asked me and said, well, there's no way you have changed this much or this drastically without having some sort of surgery. And I can assure you, I have not had surgery at all. I'm actually terrified of surgery. Hell, I almost passed out when I had to get an endoscopy done last year. I don't like needles. I don't like the concept and idea of being put under. I actually go into a very bad panic when it happens, and they usually have to give me something like to calm me down before a procedure. I have absolutely no intentions of getting FFS, which is facial feminization surgery. I think my face is okay as it is. Yeah, I can nitpick and say there are a lot of things about my face I would love to change, but I don't have the desire as badly to go under the knife. I refuse. So every change that has happened to me in my body has been strictly through hormones, better eating. I take multivitamins now. So I've been trying to eat and just be a lot healthier in my day-to-day life. And I definitely think the results are great. So yeah. Also, by the way, I would highly recommend, I'm going to put the link below, and yes, I'm actually going to do it, but a friend of mine showed me a LGBT comic, and it's called Rain, and it's a story about a trans girl who is 17 years old in her senior year, moves to a brand new school, and no one knows who she is, but but I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but within the first chapter, one of the people recognize her, but not like, oh, you used to be this person. It was like, you seem familiar. Like they don't know what it is, but they're like, your last name is familiar. I used to have a friend who had the same last name. And it turns out, of course, that is their friend that they used to know so many years ago. But the story is great so far. It's still being written today. I'm all caught up. I caught up within 2 days. It's very kind-hearted. It is just, it really covers a lot of what I've gone through in life. The emotions, the doubt, the depression, family issues, friend issues, sexual orientation issues. And I definitely think that if you're a person who really wants to understand what it's like to be trans a little bit better, I haven't seen anything do as good of a job as this comic, and it's free. They do actually have the books that you can buy. I will also put a link to those. It's volume 1 and 2. I know she's working on volume 3. But definitely show your support. Check out the comic. If you really like it like I did, buy it. I did buy it. I have a copy of each. Actually, it should be arriving soon. But yeah, I mean, Rain is such a great comic, and it's written by a person who's trans. It's written by someone who, you know, it takes a trans person to write about a trans story. And, you know, just how deep the story, I mean, how deep the emotions can go, even though it's very light reading, is amazing. I've read a few trans books over the summer. I've read Transgender 101. I've read, what was it called? I know the writer's name was Boylan. The last name of the writer, I don't remember the name of it. Jenny Boylan. But I've never read anything that really, like, pretty much I felt one-to-one with the main character. I know the emotions, and honestly, it brought up a lot of painful memories I had of my past, all of my self-doubt, but it also helped me accept who I am. And it was something I've been struggling for ever since I came out. I've been struggling about accepting that I am a girl, that I am trans, that I'll never be able to bear a child, that, you know, I'll never have a period, which I've heard that's a plus, but, you know, I know that I'll never be complete. But, you know, the thing is that it really does help people who are trying to find their way, are really trying to come to terms with themselves. And it's not easy. It really isn't, especially when your family still calls you by your old name. When I'm still referred to as a he by my family. There's maybe 2 people in my family that have just started to refer to me as Catherine. My brother, shockingly this week, my brother actually referred to me as Catherine and referred to me as his sister. And I can't tell you how happy I was that day. Like, I just wanted to hug somebody. So I ran to my friend. And I just hugged the shit out of her. And she's like, what the hell's wrong? I'm like, my brother called me his sister. And it's things like that really make me happy, because it just shows that people are finally starting to accept who I am. And I definitely think a lot of people in my life realize now more than ever that I was never a guy. I really wasn't. My parents are starting to, like, put the pieces together, realizing things that happened in the past and realizing that I was always supposed to be this way. So, you know, all I want to say is, anyone out there, if you have a problem with trans people, I really think you should consider looking more into it, because it's a lot more, and I would say the issue runs far deeper than someone complaining about religion or complaining about bathroom use or anything of that. I think a lot of people who hate people like myself, they don't know what it's like to be trans. They just don't. And I think that if you took the time and actually tried and gave it an honest shot of trying to comprehend what we go through, and that's why I highly suggest Rain, because it really does cover a lot of the emotions that people like myself go through. I think you wouldn't be so heartless about it, because I do believe there are a lot of people out here in this world who are very heartless, and they attack people like myself for no reason. And I think people have this picture painted that we're freaks, or that we just like to wear women's clothing and pretend. But that's not the case. That's not everybody at all. All the trans people I've met, and I know about 30 now, they're all like me, just down to earth people. We just want to work, we want to live, we want to be happy, we don't want to deceive anybody. If I ever got into a relationship, of course this information would be divulged. It won't be like the first thing of, oh, I'm Catherine, by the way, I used to pretend to be a guy. That's not how I would actually date. But, if it had any remote chance of becoming serious, even before the first kiss, of course I would tell somebody, because I don't believe in hiding something. But I don't want to run down the street screaming, hey, I'm transgender. Like, that's not my intentions. Of course, on this YouTube video, yeah, it came out and said, I'm trans. But I did it because I needed to. Because, for one, you guys all knew me as a guy. And two, which a lot of my old subscribers who finally came around to watching my newer videos, wondering, why are you a girl? Or they thought I was Jack the Bomb's sister. They thought I was Jack the Bomb's girlfriend. No, I'm Jack the Bomb. I used to look like a guy. Now I look like a girl. It's just the way it is. But yeah, I definitely say the message of the day: give trans and LGBT people a shot. Give them an honest shot to understand their perspective, because they're not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm very well-minded. I'm pretty intelligent, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with that statement. But yes, there are people out there that will call me a tranny, which, by the way, is offensive. Don't say it. But don't knock someone until you get to understand them. I'm pretty sure if any cisgendered person out in this world would walk a mile in my shoes or any other trans person's shoes, you would have a lot more respect for us. You would understand that we're not crazy. You would understand that we know what we're talking about. We're not just pulling this out of our asses. We're not just trying to play dress up. We're not just trying to deceive people. We're trying to survive in our own skins, and we're trying to do whatever it takes to survive. The road I was on originally was not going to last. I was very close to killing myself. And yeah, there are people out there who will even attack me for that. They'll say, oh, you're stupid for trying to kill yourself. It's just like, you don't understand. You never experienced gender dysphoria. You don't understand how horrible it is to live in a skin that you just don't feel normal in. I was never supposed to be a guy. I know this for a fact. So, yeah, this is the end of it. This is a 23-minute video. Oh my god. So, take care, guys. Look out for future videos. I definitely am planning soon to start doing regular videos about gaming and stuff. So, yeah. Bye.